What's up, everyone? It's your girl Brain Shanae, and today this is the 7th day of Vlogmas. And so what I'll be sharing with you today is my 23 top most anticipated releases of 2021. So please stay tuned. I am back, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. So today, once again, I'll be sharing with you my top 23 book releases of 2021. I'll probably be doing it in parts because I feel like it'll be a pretty long video, so I think I'll do it 2 parts. So I'll be sharing with you at least 10 book releases today of 2021, and then tomorrow on the 8th day of Vlogmas, I'll be sharing with you the remainder of the book releases that I'm anticipating. So the first book that I am highly anticipating on is A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. I am so excited for this. I just been hearing a lot of great things about this book. I just started reading A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and I am loving it so far. And so for this book, it releases on February the 16th. So definitely check out if you want to pre-order it, go ahead and do that. But let me also read the synopsis for you as well, because I'm also intrigued myself. And it says, Nesta Atron has always been prickly proud, swift to anger, and slow to forgive. And ever since being forced into the cauldron and becoming high fae against her will, she struggled to find a place for herself within the strange, deadly world she inhabits. Worse, she can't seem to move past the horrors of the war with Highborn and all she lost in it. The one person who ignites her temper more than any other is Cassian, the battle-scarred warrior whose position in Ryzan and Farah's night court keeps him constantly in Nesta's orbit. But her temper isn't the only thing Cassian ignites. The fire between them is undeniable, and only burns hotter as they are forced into close quarters with each other. Meanwhile, the treacherous human queens who returned to the continent during the last war have forged a dangerous new alliance, threatening the fragile peace that has settled over the realms, and the key to halting them might very well rely on Cassian and Nesta facing their haunting past. Against the sweeping backdrop of a world seared by war and plagued with uncertainty, Nesta and Cassian battle monsters from within and without as they search for acceptance and healing in each other's arms. So obviously we're going to see some steamy scenes with it between Cassian and Nesta. I've heard that this or Sarah J. Maas even said that this book is going to definitely be even more steamy than her previous books. So I'm definitely looking forward to this book release, and it's definitely one of my highly anticipated reads. The second book that I'm highly anticipating in is Wings of Ebony, and this is going to be by JL. I'm so excited for this book. She had hyped up this book so much. Of course, this is a book about Rue, and a lot of people feel like this is like a comeback for Rue from the Hunger Games, so to speak. So yeah, she's on a rampage in a way. But this book releases on January the 26th. I believe it was bumped up to earlier next year to release, which I am so excited for to read and know more about Rue. And so for this book, it says, in this riveting, keenly emotional debut fantasy, a black teen from Houston has her world upended when she learns about her godly ancestry. And with evil sinking its claws into humans and gods alike, she'll have to unearth the magic of her true identity to save both her worlds. Perfect for fans of Angie Thomas, Tommy Adeyemi, and the Hunger Games, Make a Way Out of No Way is just a way of life for Rue. But when her mother is shot dead on her doorstep, life for her and her younger sister changes forever. Rue's taken from her neighborhood by the father she never knew, forced to leave her little sister behind, and whisked away to Gizon, a hidden island of magic wilders. Rue is the only half-god, half-human there, where leaders protect their magical powers at all costs and thrive on human suffering. Miserable and desperate to see her sister on the anniversary of their mother's death, Rue breaks Gizon's sacred do not leave law and returns to Houston, only to discover that black kids are being forced into crime and violence. And her sister Tasha is in danger of falling sway to the very forces that claim their mother's life. Worse still, evidence mounts that the evil plaguing East Row is the same one that lurks in Gizon, an evil that will stop at nothing until it has stolen everything from her and everyone she loves. Rue must embrace her true identity and wield the full magnitude of her ancestors' power to save her neighborhood before the gods burn it to the ground. A Junior Library Guild Gold Standard selection. So, like, I am so excited for this book. I'm so pumped up. I'm just glad that it got bumped up to January the 26th, so I definitely can read it. But yes, as you all know, that's definitely another of my anticipated reads. The next book that I want to share with you is The Gilded Ones by Nemina Forna. So this book was supposed to come out this year, but it just didn't happen due to COVID and other situations that I'm not sure of. But it's coming out real soon, and that's going to be February the 9th, you guys. So literally, I have a lot of books piling up already in my mind, and like my money, I have to get it right so that I can get these books, because they literally come out the beginning of 2021. And so, oh my gosh, I'm just so excited. So for this book, it says 16-year-old Decca lives in fear in anticipation of the blood ceremony that will determine whether she'll become a member of her village. Already different from everyone else because of her unnatural intuition, Decca prays for red blood so that she can finally feel like she belongs. But on the day of the ceremony, her blood runs gold, the color of impurity, and Decca knows she will face a consequence worse than death. Then a mysterious woman comes to her with a choice: stay in the village and submit to her fate, or leave to fight for the emperor in an army of girls just like her. They are called Alakai, near immortals with rare gifts, and they are the only ones who can stop the empire's greatest threat. Knowing the dangers that lie ahead, yet yearning for acceptance, Decca decides to leave the only life she's ever known. But as she journeys to the capital to train for the biggest battle of her life, she will discover that the great walled city holds many surprises. Nothing and no one are quite what they seem to be. Not even Decca herself. So I am super pumped for this book. I was looking forward to reading it this year, but you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm just glad it's coming out to the world and I'll be able to finally read it. Next book that will definitely be coming out next year and is by one of my favorite authors is Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. So this is pretty much a companion book to The Hate U Give. This is featuring Maverick, which is Star's dad, and then in his early days before Star was born and what have you. And this book comes out, let me see, it comes out January the 12th. So, oh my gosh, another book earlier in 2021. I'm so pumped. So yeah, January the 12th. So I know I already pre-ordered it. I actually pre-ordered it from an indie bookstore so I can also get it signed by her as well. So if you definitely want to pre-order it, go ahead and do so. But also check out her Instagram page, which she also states which indie bookstore she would like you to support in order to get a signed copy. But so for this international phenomenon, Angie Thomas revisits Garden Heights 17 years before the events of The Hate U Give in the searing and poignant exploration of Black boyhood and manhood. If there's one thing 17-year-old Maverick Carter knows, is that a real man takes care of his family. As the son of a former gang legend, Mav does that the only way he knows how, dealing for the King Lords. With this money, he can help his mom, who works 2 jobs while his dad's in prison. Life's not perfect, but with a fly girlfriend and a cousin who always has his back, Mav's got everything under control. Until, that is, Maverick finds out he's a father. Suddenly has a baby, 7, who depends on him for everything, but it's not so easy to sling dope, finish school, and raise a child. So when he's offered the chance to go straight, he takes it. In a world where he's expected to amount to nothing, maybe Mav can prove he's different. When King Lord blood runs through your veins, though, you can't just walk away. Loyalty, revenge, and responsibility threaten to tear Mav apart, especially after the brutal murder of a loved one. He'll have to figure out for himself what it really means to be a man. So I'm definitely excited to know more about Maverick. Even in the first movie, we got a snippet of, or at least conversations of, his early life as well, and also becoming a father of 7. 7 is his son's name. He doesn't have 7 children, just to let you know if you haven't read the book or seen the movie. But yeah, so definitely another one of my highly anticipated reads. The next book that I cannot wait to read, this is the second book of this series, Kingdom of Cards, and this is When Nights Break by Janella Angelise. So I love the first book, and it was absolutely amazing. I enjoyed it so much that I definitely want to finish and know more about what happens in this particular world. And this book comes out June the 8th, so we have a little bit of time, so you still have some time to read the first book. So just to let y'all know, y'all got time to catch up. But for this book, let me read the synopsis for this one, because this is following the first book, Where Dreams Descend. And let's go ahead and see what this one about. So it says, in Janelle Angelisa's When Night Breaks, the dramatic last act of the Kingdom of Cards duology, the stage is set, the spectacle awaits, and the show must finally come to an end. The competition has come to a disastrous end, and Darren DeMarco's fall from grace is now front page news. But little matters to him beyond Kalia, the contestant he fell for, who is now lost to this world and in the hands of a dangerous magician. Darren is willing to do whatever it takes to find her, even if it means embarking on a dark and treacherous journey, risking more than just his life, with no promise of return. After awaking in darkness, Kalia has never felt more lost, especially with Jack by her side, the magician with who has the answers but cannot be trusted. Together, they must navigate a dazzling world where mirrors show memories and illusions shadow every corner, one ruled by a powerful game master who could all too easily destroy the world she left behind and the boy she can't seem to forget. With time running out, Kalia must embrace her role in a darker destiny or lose everything she loves forever. So I had an arc of this, and I also got the exclusive Outcrate edition of the book, and I loved it so much. I'm definitely excited to jump right back into this world. So I definitely can't wait for when June comes around the corner, which, the year probably will come around the corner just like 2020 came around the corner. I'm definitely looking forward to reading this book. So the next book that I'm just super excited to read, and this is her sophomore book that will be coming out this year, and that is A Psalm of Storms and Silence by Roseanne A. Brown. So as you know, she had her debut book, A Song of Wraiths and Ruin, and absolutely I enjoyed it. I loved everything about Malik, Karina, all that. Like, it was absolutely amazing. So I definitely want to read more about what happens to the princess and also Malik and everything like that, as well. He was dealing with a creature that also took his sister captive pretty much. But first off, let me just say this released June the 1st. So if you haven't read the first book, I suggest you do so before the next book releases, or if you want to wait till the second book releases, you can definitely binge read it. So it says here, the highly anticipated second and final book in the immersive fantasy duology, inspired by West African folklore that began with the New York Times bestselling A Song of Wraiths and Ruin from author Roseanne A. Brown. Months have passed since the violent coup that upended Princess Karina's life. She is now a fugitive racing across the desert to sanctuary in the Akwasian jungle, where she hopes to find allies to help her reclaim her kingdom from her adopted brother's clutches. Meanwhile, Malik's illusion magic is flourishing under Farid's tutelage, but the bonds keeping the faceless king trapped in his mind are weakening. His quest to best the spirit once and for all leads him deep into the dark history of his own ancestors, with an unlikely ally by his side. Princess Hanain, Karina's resurrected sister, who hides more secrets than ever than she even realizes. As the fabric holding Sanade together begins to tear, Malik and Karina once again find themselves on opposite sides of an ever-worsening conflict, even as their connection flares to a breaking point. And when the fate of the world hangs on a single horrifying choice, they each must decide what they value most: a power that could transform the world or a love that could transform their lives. So I'm definitely pumped for this book. This is the final book, and I think the little Karina and Malik I think it's gorgeous. It's cute. I love like a little friends and enemies type of lovers deal. So definitely let's check. I'm like so pumped for this book as well. Like, I'm pretty much going to say that throughout this entire video, that I'm excited to finally continue on and jump right into this world as well. Another book that I'm very and I highly anticipate on reading in 2021. This is an author that I have not read yet, and I think this might be her first book, or maybe not. It'll be a first book that I'll be reading from her, and that is Ace of Spades by Farida Abike Ayimede. I'm sorry if I skewered your name. I'm sorry, but it's Farida is her name, and it's Ace of Spades. Now this book comes out on June the 10th, so I'm definitely excited to read it. So it says an incendiary and utterly compelling thriller with a shocking twist that delves deep into the heart of institutionalized racism from an exceptional new YA voice. Welcome to Niveau's private academy, where money paves the hallways and the students are never less than perfect until now. Because anonymous texter Aces is bringing two students' dark secrets to light, talented musicians Devon Yes, Devon buries himself in rehearsals, but he can't escape the spotlight when his private photos go public. Head girl Chiamaka isn't afraid to get what she wants, but soon everyone will know the price she has paid for power. Someone is out to get them both, someone who holds all the aces, and they're planning much more than a high school game. So yes, so I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. It's definitely different, but it sounds really interesting. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this when it comes out on June the 10th. Next book is going to be Where the Rhythm Takes You, and this is going to be by Sarah Doss. Now this, I believe, is like a romance. I know on the cover it says first love, second chance. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. This comes out May the 11th as well. So let's go ahead and get started with the synopsis as well. So it says 17-year-old Reina has spent most of her life at her family's gorgeous seaside resort in Tobago, the Plumeria. But what once seemed like paradise is starting to feel more like purgatory. It's been 2 years since Reina's mother passed away, 2 years since Aiden, her childhood best friend, first kiss, first love, first everything, left the island to pursue his music dreams. Reina's friends are all planning their futures and heading abroad. Even Daddy seems to want to move on, leaving her to try to keep the Plumeria running. And that's when Aiden comes roaring back into her life as a VIP guest at the resort. Aiden is now 1/3 of DJ Bacano, the latest, hottest music group on the scene, where Reina has stayed exactly where he left her. Aiden has returned to Tobago with his Grammy-nominated band and 2 gorgeous LA socialites. And he may or may not be dating one of them, inspired by Jane Austen's Persuasion. Where the Rhythm Takes You is a romantic, mesmerizing novel of first love and second chances. So I'm all about love and romance. So I'm going to consider this a romance book. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this and knowing more about Reina and also her friends as well. Next book that I want to talk about is going to be coming out January the 5th, so earlier in 2021, and that is Roman and Jewel by Dana L. Davis. So this sounds really interesting. I think it's like a Romeo and Juliet retelling. It's what it looks like anyways. But it says, if Romeo and Juliet got the Hamilton treatment, who would play the leads? This vividly funny, honest, and charming romantic novel by Dana L. Davis is the story of a girl who thinks she has what it takes, and the world thinks so too. Jersey James will do anything to land the lead role in Broadway's hottest new show, Roman and Jewel, a Romeo and Juliet inspired hip opera featuring a diverse cast and modern twist on the play. But her hopes are crushed when she learns megastar Cindy won the lead, and Jersey is her understudy. Falling for male lead Zeppelin Reed is a terrible idea, especially once Jersey learns Cindy wants him for herself. Star-crossed love always ends badly, but when a video of Jersey and Zepp practicing goes viral and the entire world weighs in on who should play Jewel, Jersey learns that while the price of fame is high, friendship, family, and love are priceless. Books by Dana L. Davis. Tiffany Sly lives here now. The Voice in My Head, Roman and Jewel. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. This is definitely something up my alley. It's definitely different than anything that I have read so far. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading more about these amazing characters. So this is going to be the final book that I'm going to be sharing with you until tomorrow, where I'll be finishing up my top, or my 23 most anticipated reads or book releases of 2021. So you'll have to stay tuned for the second half. But for this final book that I want to share with you all today, it's something that I've been waiting for, and it sounds so cute. I think it's just adorable, and that is Happily Ever Afters by Elise Bryant. I'm looking forward to reading this. I think the cover is also beautiful and it's so gorgeous, and this releases January the 5th, so it's earlier released in 2021. And so for this book, it says Jane the Virgin meets To All the Boys I Loved Before in this charming debut romantic comedy filled with black girl magic, perfect for fans of Mary H.K. Choi and Nicola Yoon, with crossover appeal for readers of Jasmine Guillory and Talia Hibbert romances. 16-year-old Tessa Johnson has never felt like the protagonist in her own life. She's rarely seen herself reflected in the pages of the romance novels she loves. The only place she's a true leading lady is in her own writing, and the swoony love stories she shares only with Caroline, her best friend and #1 devoted reader. When Tessa is accepted into the creative writing program of a prestigious art school, she's excited to finally let her stories shine. But when she goes to her first workshop, the words are just gone. Fortunately, Caroline has a solution. Tessa just needs to find some inspiration in a real-life love story of her own. And she's ready with a list of romance novel-inspired steps to happily ever after. Nico, the brooding artist who looks like he walked out of one of Tessa's stories, is cast as the perfect Prince Charming. But as Tessa checks off each item of Caroline's list, she gets further and further away from herself. She risks losing everything she cares about, including the surprising bond she develops with Sweet Sam, who lives across the street. She's well on her way to having her own real-life love story, but is it the one she wants after all? So I am ready for this book so much. This sounds so adorable and cute, like a little love story, and it also mentions Talia Hibbert and Jasmine Guillory, all the people that are really good with, with writing romance novels. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. I'm so excited. But yes, so that is the final book that I'll be sharing with you today. You'll have to wait to tomorrow to see what other books that I'm anticipating for 2021. But yes, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Also, hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you so much for watching, you guys, and please stay healthy and stay safe. See ya!